So feel your back body. Just rest with support beneath you. All the way down your legs, into your heels. And take a moment to reach into your heels. Drawing your toes in towards you. And then relaxing your legs, letting your toes fall in or out or up. Find rest. And start to scan across your heart, your chest, opening it up. Relaxing your shoulder blades down towards the bolster. Find softness, find ease. And then send your breath all the way through your arms, your elbows, your wrists, your fingertips. Find rest, softness, grounding down into the earth. And with your palms down on the earth, just feel that vibration. Feel that grounding sensation. Rooting, releasing. I'll take a few more breaths right here. So we're going to leave everything at the door, everything outside of this room. And just coming into this space right here, right now, becoming more and more present. Let's bring a hand to your heart and then one hand to baby. Take an inhale, sending love down to baby. Take an exhale, drawing that love up from baby to you. Feeling that deep connection, that deep bond, that deep love. Knowing that each and every breath connects you, each and every heartbeat. And take a moment to draw an intention to your mind. Maybe that's a positive birth affirmation. Maybe just a positive affirmation for right here, right now. Not even going as far as bringing your mind to birth. Just right here, right now. Maybe one word, a phrase, a mantra. Take a couple more breaths. So pause here a few more breaths. Notice if there's any tension across your face, whether it's your brow, the bridge of your nose, your jaws, your cheek. Notice if your teeth are clenched, pressed together. Maybe wiggle that bottom jaw around. Maybe force a yawn, lick your lips. Find rest, find ease. And then scan through, observe the rest of your body. Is there tension or tightness? We don't need to fix it right now. Just observe, see where you're at. Maybe just take a snapshot of your body right here, right now. And take a few more breaths. And so on your next breath, let's release your hands, rolling over to one side. You'll come off your bolster, bending your knees, fetal pose one side. Pause there as you take a breath. Find rest, find ease. Using your bottom arm as a pillow, use a bolster as a pillow. Then just go ahead and stay here for the next 60 minutes. Breathing. Just use your top arm to bring you up to seated. So come all the way up to seated, cross leg. And what feels good here Settle into your seat. Settle into your tailbone, lift your heart, shoulders drawn back. Wiggle your neck around, rock it around, and then find that nice long line from your tailbone all the way up to the crown of your head. Reaching up, rising up. Shoulders are gently drawn back. And let's take an inhale to reach your fingertips up to the sky. Opening up your whole top body, grounding through your seat. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale to reach and lengthen, drawing it all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale to reach. And exhale. So continue at your own pace. A few more breaths like that. Inhale to reach and lengthen. Hang out at the top as long as you need. Hang out with hands at heart center as long as you need. Find grounding and rooting. And then as you inhale and reach up, find that length, find that rise. So gentle, easy breaths. Seeing if you could maybe slow your breath down just a little bit to make that deeper connection. Inhaling, rising a little bit higher. Exhaling, finding a little more grounding, rooting. And the next time you reach up, stay there, pause there. Inhale, so reach your fingertips up towards the sky. We're going to interlace our fingers, so your hands are just interlaced. Reach your palms to the sky. Take a breath. And then as you exhale, reach your palms towards me. And then inhale to come back up. Exhale, reach your palms towards me, straight out. And inhale to reach back up. Exhale, forward. Inhale to reach. One more like that. Exhale, reach forward. And then inhale, reach back up. Release your hands, reach both fingertips to the sky. We're going to bring our left hand down at our side. Right hand will reach and then come all the way up and over. So opening up that whole left side body. Find your breath, lift your shoulder, reach through your fingertips. This bottom hand can draw you deeper or it can come in to support and lift you back up if you're too deep. So find what feels good. Reach, lengthen. When you feel ready, we'll come up through center and come over to the other side. Now the right hand will come down, the left hand will reach up and over. Just notice where you need to take that bottom hand if you need more support or if you need to draw yourself deeper. Lift that top shoulder and breathe. So we'll come up again and switch at your own pace. Inhale to rise, exhale to reach and lengthen. Stay here as long as you need to. When you're ready, lift and come to the other side. No rush, just take your time, move slowly, move gently. At your own pace, reach and lengthen. One or two more just to even out, and then when you feel balanced, we're going to come to center. Reach both hands up. Pause as you lift your heart, and then we'll bring our hands behind us, interlacing your hands. We'll draw our shoulder blades towards each other, back behind you, and lift your heart, and just pause here. Find this chest expansion, heart opener. Draw your hands away from you, pulling your shoulders a little bit closer together. Open up your heart. Take one more breath. And then slowly release your hands, rolling your shoulders forward, hands to your knees. We'll take a seated cat-cow pelvic tilt. So exhale, really round out that back body, drawing your navel towards you, hugging baby, hugging your ribs. And then when you feel ready, inhale to just gently tilt your pelvic bowl forward. Open up your heart and draw your shoulders back. Lifting your gaze, opening across your forehead, your throat, your heart. And back and forth at your own pace. Feel that pelvic tilt slowly and gently. Gently opening up your hips, your pelvis, possibly giving baby just a little bit more space. So rock back and forth. Inhale and exhale. So inhale as you come forward. Really fill your lungs. Fill that top body. And then when you exhale, releasing that breath, releasing that air so you have the ability to draw yourself just a little further forward, or your top body forward, folding somewhat. And take a few more breaths here in the seated cat-cow. And let your breath guide the way. Slow and steady. And we'll come back to neutral when you feel even and ready. And then we'll circle it all out. So reach out to one side, hands supported at your knees. Draw yourself forward as much as you can, as much space as you can. Over to one side and then all the way back. If that top leg is in the way, you can stack it in front of the others or the other and reach. Coming all the way around, reach. Draw yourself forward, find what feels good. You can almost feel like a gentle hip massage. And then switch when you feel ready, opposite direction. Pause where you need to. If you need to just come into one space and kind of rock it out, feel that, go ahead. Enjoy that. Just a couple more breaths here. And then let's come back to center. Hold it there. When you feel ready, we'll extend our legs out, reaching both legs out in front of you. Reach into your heels, draw your toes in. Maybe rock your knees out, find some rest, find some ease. And then open up your knees just a little bit. Or open up your feet just a little bit, sorry. Reach into your heels, rock it out. And then we'll take a forward fold. Inhale to reach and then exhale to fold. Soften your knees as much as you need to, even if you fully bend your knees to come forward. Find what feels good to you, giving yourself space to rock forward. Release tension in your low back. Open up your hips. Draw baby forward. Round your shoulders to release any tightness. Draw your hands down towards the earth. Just breathe gently right here. Round your neck, round your shoulders, round your spine. Reach forward and then soften down. So notice the softening with each exhale. If you need a little bit more length, draw it with the inhale, and then exhale. Soften, fold, coming down. hamstrings opening up just a little bit. We're gonna keep our hamstrings nice and open so that our low back can stay nice and open so we can strengthen and bring everything together. Everything working together the best way possible throughout your pregnancy. Strong legs to support that growing belly, that forward pull. So let's inhale to lift up. Walk your hands up your legs and we'll draw the soles of our feet together. Butterfly. Lengthen through your heart, through your spine. Lift everything up. You need to take a couple of pelvic tilts to just open that up. Rock your knees out. Find the space that you need so that we can come into a forward fold. And then whenever you feel ready, lift your heart. And then let's extend to fold. And with you guys being in different trimesters, you have different focus. So Morgan, you probably have a little bit more energy. Lindsay, you might be slowing down just a little bit. And we're gonna focus more towards that deep hip opener, preparing for the big day. Getting you ready to run that marathon, doing the training, coming into poses that are gonna help, breathing techniques that are gonna help, visualization, positive birth affirmation. So draw it all in. Find that rest, find that ease. This is your practice. And Morgan, just taking it all in, finding what feels good for now, staying present in this moment, second trimester, feel good trimester. Breathing, preparing, and also staying present. So we're going to start to walk our hands up, lifting. And then draw just your right heel in. Let's extend our left leg forward and then draw it out just a little bit. So we're going to take a forward fold. When there's no baby bump, we can reach right over this leg, centering our heart. But if there's a baby bump, we're just going to come a little bit inside of that left leg. Draw your hands forward, walk your right hand towards that left leg, and then draw yourself down. So we're getting into just one hamstring at a time, finding that length, finding more breath, find softness, find ease, rounding, and reach. We'll take about 2 more breaths. And let's inhale to lift. We'll switch our legs, so we'll send our right leg out. Our left heel draws in. Doing our best to center that top body towards this right leg. Inhale to lengthen, and then exhale as we gently fold forward. So that right arm reaches out. Left arm reaches. Find softness, maybe noticing this leg is just completely different. Maybe this is your easy side to just draw yourself and extend forward. Maybe this side's a little more tight and tense. Find the breath that you need. Staying present on this one side, letting it be what it is, folding and releasing. We're going to come all the way up. Walk your hands up that right leg. Take your time, so it's steady. And then once again, we'll reach both legs out in front of us. Draw your heels together. Draw your toes in towards you. And lift your heart with support of your hands wherever you need it. I'm just going to point and flex our feet. So reach into your heels and then point your toes. And then you can start to circle it out. Feeling that all the way up through your legs And maybe taking one leg at a time, one foot at a time. And we'll take one more forward fold. So open up your heels away from each other. Give yourself some space. You can always lift that back or lift your seat with a blanket if you need it. Inhale to reach, and then exhale, let's extend and fold. And find softness in your feet, whether your toes point in or out, forward, whether you flex your heels. Find what you need. Find length, and then find that reach. Find softness in your knees, and gently fold. And then we're gonna come up, slow and steady, walk your hands up your legs. We'll slowly transition into a tabletop. Take your time getting there. If you need a drink of water, if you need anything, and then we'll come around. And if you ever need to go to the bathroom in the middle of class, feel free. When I was with child, I think I left class like 3 times. And then I just sneak back in. So come into your table, find that length in your spine, gazes straight down. So find that foundation first by rooting through your hands, your palms, your knuckles, your fingertips, your thumb, your pinky, and then find your knees behind you. Take another breath here, a gentle hug of your ribs, drawing yourself around baby, giving baby a squeeze, a gentle hug, and some love. Coming into this tabletop at home in your own practice or just right here when you feel baby heavy on your spine. And this will just give you both a little bit more space. You can rock around or just hold it in stillness, taking pressure off your low back or middle back, depending on where baby is. And then if you feel, when you're at home, if you feel you need to come into cat-cow, then come into cat-cow. And now, here in this practice, we'll move through cat-cow. Inhale to lift your heart, sitting baby down towards the earth like a hammock, just giving them as much space as possible. Lift your heart, draw your shoulders back, lift your gaze, open your throat, your third eye, all across your face, finding that arch of your back. And then exhale. Next exhale, let's round your back body, drawing baby up towards you, pressing into your hands, rounding your shoulders, tucking your chin. And then take your cat-cow as it feels good to you. Inhale as you lift your heart, and then exhale as you round everything out. And there's no rush here. Slowly taking your time, moving as it feels good to you. Inhale, your heart comes forward, shoulder blades draw back. Exhale, round that back body, feel your breath. Press into your hands, lift that back body. And noticing the difference in this cat-cow as opposed to our seated pelvic tilt, seated cat-cow. And notice maybe one feels better than the other. So when you're home and you need it, go into the one where you found the most release. If you have hip pain or heartburn, whatever it might be, keep these in mind as you move through your practice today. Making little mental notes of what you can take home with you, what you can take into that birth space. Find what feels good. Find what slows your heart down, releases tension or anxiety or worry. And then right here in our tabletop, come to a strong spine tabletop, coming into stillness. Take another breath. We're gonna roll our right toes back, getting into your calf. So roll your right toes, press into your right heel, and take your gaze back, opening up that right calf. Find what feels good here. And then when you feel ready, we'll switch. So what we're gonna do is go side to side. So with as little rocking, with as little movement as possible, just reaching that left leg back, pressing into that heel, finding relief in that calf, and then returning that knee down, come to the other side. And gaze looks back, reaches back. Move with your breath. Gentle hugs around baby. And the next time you reach back, next time you reach your right leg back, let's pause there. Holding that right heel or reaching into that right heel. We're gonna slide our right foot over to the left. So we can open up that whole right side body. Take your gaze over your left shoulder and open up. Breathe here. And then we'll slowly slide that right foot back to center. Reach into that right heel. And the right knee comes down. Next breath, we'll do it on the left side. So reach into your left heel, press back, and then slide it all the way to the right. Open up that left side body as you look over your right shoulder and take a breath. And then let's bring that left foot to center. Roll those toes, reach your heel back, find a breath, press into your hands, take your gaze back. So if you ever have one of those nights where your legs cramp, your calves are cramping, come into this, find that release if it feels good, or the next day maybe you had a night where you had cramping calves, you might have to just come into this the next day to find release. So both knees come down, one round of cat-cow. Inhale as you lift your heart, and then exhale, let's round it out. And now let's press into our hands and lift all the way up, downward facing dog. Come all the way up, roll your toes straight, legs press back, press up and back through your hips, through your tailbone. If at any point you just are not feeling this, a little indigestion, a little dizziness, then we'll modify, we'll take another pose. So just let me know how you're feeling. You need to come out of anything at all. And now let's come back down, tabletop, child's pose. Open up your knees. Press your hips back into your heels. Find softness as baby just floats down towards the earth. Ground through your heart, ground through your top body, your head. See if you can find length in your arms. Walk your fingertips towards me. Soften your heart. Soften your spine. Soften your hips. And then with our next breath, we're gonna come up through tabletop to downward facing dog. And just take your time getting there, no rush to rise. And so reach your heart back towards your thighs. Your gaze will come towards your knees just to open up the back of your neck. And then next breath, let's soften both knees. You might need to open up your stance to walk forward. So we'll walk to the top of our mat for a forward fold. Rock into your toes and press into your heels. Find softness in your knees, opening up your hamstrings. If you need a block to hang on to just support this pose, grab your block. Take a nice deep breath right here. And then let's inhale to halfway lift. So you can bring your hands wherever you need them to support a nice long spine. If you need to take a hand under baby to support, is supporting that weight. And then as we exhale, let's gently, softly fold back forward with softness in your knees. And then support baby, let's rise up, lift up, drawing that top body up. Bringing baby with us, lift your heart. Shoulders draw all the way up and back, and then fingertips reach to the sky. Find length as you reach. Heart comes forward. And then hands to heart center. Let's hinge and fold back down. Supporting baby as needed. Soften your knees, hands to the earth. Inhale to halfway lift. And then exhale to fold. We'll come into a modified plank, bringing your knees down. Whether you stay right here on a tabletop or you hinge forward. Feeling supported. Hold it right here. And then we'll reach into child's pose. Open up your knees, hips to heels. Send it back. Find softness, find ease, find rest. Find that grounding. Connecting deeply with your calming breath. And then we'll move back up through tabletop to downward facing dog. Take your time, move slowly. Honoring your body, pausing where you need to pause. Bring your knees back in. Roll your toes, lift your hips. Find softness in your knees. Look forward, walk all the way up to the top of your mat, coming into a forward fold with softness in your knees. And then inhale, lift up halfway, draw a nice long spine. And exhale to release back down, forward fold. And then slowly, let's lift and rise, drawing yourself all the way up. Lifting your heart, draw your shoulders all the way up and back, and fingertips reach. Lengthen, lift your fingertips to the sky, maybe even drawing your gaze up. And then hands to heart center. Let's hinge and fold back down. Forward fold, hands to the earth. Inhale, lengthen. Nice long spine, halfway lift, half back extension. Draw your spine long. And then release back down, forward fold, modified plank. Bring your knees down. Take a gentle hinge forward with a hug around baby. Let's come back to our tabletop. We're gonna move into a lunge. So take that right leg forward. You can walk it out, bring it forward, or just little teeny tiny toe steps all the way forward. So we want to look down and make sure that our right knee is stacked right above this left ankle, left foot. And then our back thigh is at an angle, drawing forward, hips come forward. Perfect. So we're gonna need to open up a little bit, giving baby space, drawing him and her to the center. And then find your breath here. Find what feels good. Find length in your spine. So we're gonna maybe need our blocks. If you want them, if you feel you'd be more supported, you can grab your blocks. We're gonna come back and forth. So we're gonna be in this low lunge, and then we'll straighten out our front legs, send your hips back, hands stay forward, and hinge towards the earth. Keeping that bend in your front knee until, as long as you need it. If you can straighten it out, it's not too much in that right hamstring, then do that. You can lift your right toes up off the earth, find what feels good. Hang out here as long as you need to, and then we'll come back forward into that low lunge. Bringing your hips forward, bringing your heart forward, bringing a nice long line. And then when you feel ready, reach it back again. Perfect. Going back and forth at your own pace. Find what feels good. Find that hip opener. Find that release. Open up that back body. And the next time we come forward, we're gonna move it into dragon. Baby will like this because they'll get more room. So walk both hands in and walk your right foot out to what feels good to you. And then you can stay hands on the block, lifting your heart, or you can bring your hands down to the earth or forearms down to the earth if you have that space, if that's available, and release a little bit more. You're gonna open up that right hip. If it feels too much, then just bring yourself up. You can rock your hips around, wiggling things up, down, side to side. Find your breath. Find softness in the back of your neck. Find softness anywhere you notice tension. Take a few more breaths. And if you're low, let's gently come back up, lifting up. And then we're gonna scoot ourselves back so we can come into table. So reach your hips back, start to walk that right foot back. Take your time, and then come into a tabletop. And move through cat-cow, releasing tension in that open right hip. Find what feels good. And we'll take the same thing on the other side. So when you feel ready, we're gonna start to walk that left foot forward. It could take a little bit longer on this side with that right hip so open. So just give yourself grace here. Take your time, move as slowly as you need to. There's no rush to get into any pose or out of any pose. When you come into that low lunge, just start to feel it. Find what feels good. And then we're gonna reach it back. So from low lunge, half monkey, half splits. If you need your blocks, grab them. We're straightening out our front leg, reaching your hips back, sending your heart long in front of you. You can lift your toes. And the next breath, let's walk it forward. Bringing both hands forward, bending that front knee, sliding your hips open in front of you, opening up that right hip flexor. Feel it in your right thigh, low belly. And then reach back, half monkey. Feeling it mostly in your hamstrings and your low back. So back and forth at your own pace. Bend that front knee, send your heart forward. And let your breath just guide the way. Notice if there's tension or tightness or something just does not feel good, then we're gonna avoid that. We're gonna modify. We're gonna find what feels good, what is serving our body. And then the next time we come forward, pause there, and we'll slowly move into dragon. Perfect. You can stay right here, hands planted, arms long, arms strong, or you can lower it down a little bit. We don't need to find our max, we need to find what feels good, what releases tension. So let's gently lift up. No rush here. Move with your breath. Take your time. And then we'll move it into a tabletop. So rocking your hips back as you walk that left foot back, bringing your left knee down. Take a few cat-cows or rock side to side, back and forth. And then child's pose as it feels good to you. Open up your knees, send your hips back, find rest, find ease. Let's come forward, come into tabletop so we can move into downward facing dog. So roll your toes, lift up slowly. Walk your legs out, press into your heels. Bend one knee and then the other. Rock your hips around. And then we'll soften our knees to look forward, walk all the way forward to the top of your mat. And then once you get here, let's open up our feet just a little bit in this forward fold, and our toes will turn out. So we may or may not need our block. We're gonna come down into a yogi squat. So grab your blocks in case you need them, in case you need to sit on them or have them around you for support. We'll bend our knees and lower your seat down. And then once you get there, find the support that you need. And bring your hands to your heart. Use your elbows to press your knees open and wide. Find what feels good here. Find that rooting through your toes, through your heels. Find that gentle, not so gentle actually, hip opener, big hip opener. Find your breath, lift your heart, pull your shoulders back if you can, drawing the crown of your head a little bit taller. Take an inhale and an exhale. And then we'll release our hands. Our hands will support us lifting back up into a forward fold. Press into your hands, press into your heels, a little bit of a rock forward to rise up. Strong legs. Lift up. Forward fold. Rock your hips left and right. And then we're going to come back down again. So slow and steady. Strong legs. Just imagine that. Lowering it down. Hips open gently. And then hips open all the way. Hands to heart center. Lift your heart. Lift through the crown of your head. And this is something you can do at home, leaning against a wall, propping books or pillows or something beneath you. Come into this pose often, especially through that third trimester. Just getting your body used to this pose, coming into it in her birth time. You can rock it around. You don't have to hold it in stillness. So we're going to bring our hands down to the earth, press into your hands, your feet, and then find that strength in your legs as you rise up. And hinge forward, rock around. Press into your toes and your heels. We're going to come down one more time, so come when you feel ready. Lower your hips to lift your heart. Hands to heart center. Put your elbows to open your knees. Find your breath. As we take our next breath, exhale, hands to the earth. Lift up. Find that strength in your legs. Pause, and then lift. Forward fold. Rock your hips out. We're gonna bring our feet together for our forward fold, and then inhale, lift up halfway. And then lengthen your spine, and then exhale as we gently fold back forward. With softness in your knees, let's rise up, lift up, and reach your fingertips to the sky. Open up that top body, find length, find your breath. Reach, lengthen. Exhale as you draw your hands to heart center, and we'll open up our stance. We're gonna lower into goddess squat. So, preparing for all the things that are happening in your body. We want to have strong legs. We want to have a strong core, but we want to have still some pliable movement, some softness to your core. So we're going to come down, hands at heart center. We're going to bend your knees, keeping your shoulders stacked. Imagine you're going to slide down a wall to lower. And then find that strength in your legs to lift. Hugging gently around, baby, as you rise up, lower down. Inhale to lift. Exhale, gently lower it down. We're just coming to where you find your max. Coming to what works, where you feel strength, but not where you feel fatigue. Inhale as you rise. Press up your hands together. Exhale as you gently lower it down. And the next time we rise, we're going to reach our fingertips to the sky. Press your palms together. And then exhale to lower. Inhale to rise, fingertips reach. Exhale to lower. Come down one last time. Pause here, hold it here. And then inhale, let's lift and rise. Fingertips reach, lengthen, and then release your hands. Open them up. Draw your hands behind you to interlace your fingers. Take a chest expansion, heart opener. Maybe lifting your gaze. Rock around. A few breaths here as you lift your hands. Find softness in your knees. If you feel comfortable, we'll release fully into a forward fold. If you need to stay lifted, stay here. Right or wrong. And now with softness in your knees, let's release your hands just so that you can support baby on the rise up. And let's lift up. Inhale as you lift your heart. And just take a moment to come back up to standing, rock your hips around. And we're gonna grab a ball. So grab a ball and bring it to your mat. Morgan, I'm gonna give you this big one. You're smaller. Lindsay, take that blue. And it's weighted, so there's like sand in the bottom. Oh, it just sounds good. All right, so we're gonna sit here on the ball. Knees open wide, toes turned out gently. Does it feel too big? Too tough? Lindsay, let me switch with you because that one doesn't have a whole lot of air in it. Okay. So knees bent, hips open, knees turned out, toes turned out. So we're gonna come into cat-cow. What are we doing? So gentle pelvic tilts as you move through. So we're gonna tilt our pelvis back, round your shoulders, tuck your chin, and then the opposite. Push your pelvis forward. It's in your heart or pelvis. Heart forward, shoulders drawn back with your gaze. Okay, now feel it. Inhale as you come forward. Exhale as you round. And so we've taken cat-cow seated on the earth, legs crossed. We've taken cat-cow, tabletop, and now we're taking cat-cow with this ball. So check in for a moment with each one. Notice what worked. Notice what didn't work. Notice what felt best. What gave you the biggest opening, tension release. Notice what felt best. Maybe cat seated or on tabletop or right here was best for you. Or cow, and one of those options was felt best. It's nice with the ball because it gives you kind of that little give underneath you.
So comfortable.
Do you have a ball?
No, but I mean, I used to, but I don't think I do. I'm gonna get one now.
Marshalls are like $10.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting one.
I got that red one at a thrift store. It was already blown out, so I'm like, perfect. So now we'll take circles. So come up to center, find your breath, and let's start to circle it out.
That feels
Good. Morgan, yours is quiet because you've got that blanket underneath it. Ours are like.
I'm gonna switch my chair out for one of these.
Yeah.
My desk.
So Lindsay, yours could actually, I think if I blow that up, put more air in it, it'd be the
More.
perfect size.
Okay.
You just, what you want is a 90-degree angle. Notice how my hips are below my knees.
Okay.
I need to be a little bit higher. Morgan's perfect.
So, okay. I see what you're saying when I see the difference.
And you can take this. I know that some hospitals are different. Where are you delivering?
Halifax. And they mentioned having them. Maybe
Okay.
that's a newer thing for them. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
I think it's a newer thing. Before they didn't always, not every hospital allowed you to have the ball or whatever.
But you could
reason.
bring your own, right?
You can bring your own,
Yeah.
yeah. But just clarify that, confirm it, and then when you're there, they have, you know, like the, not the potty pads, but like the pads that they put on the hospital beds, you know, where they
Yeah.
can just kind of clean it up.
Yeah.
Put that over the ball, you know, so it just everything stays
good idea.
clean.
Great.
Because if it rolls along the
Right.
hospital floors, you don't want to sit directly on it.
Yeah. Good idea.
Okay, so we've got, we did the cat-cow forward and back. We did the circling, and now let's rock it just side to side. Getting into that whole side body. You can even reach an arm up and out, drawing it a little bit deeper. I'm just noticing that prenatal yoga is a little less, you know, we're going to do this, this, and this. It's kind of about exploring and finding what feels good and digging deep into that mind-body connection. Noticing what gives you release, because this is first baby for both of you, and so you're kind of going into the unknown. You need to tap into that rest, that positive affirmations, because anything you do the first time is, you know, like the tough one,
Right.
you know? So just explore, imagine the best case scenario. You know, the easy birth where, I don't know if I was talking to you guys about it, but a girlfriend of mine was like, oh, it's a contraction. And then she went to the hospital and they were like, you're 8 centimeters. And she was like, oh, another contraction. So visualize that birth.
Yes.
And then she just had that baby.
Oh.
And don't think about
The what ifs.
the TV shows that make it dramatic because that's just interesting.
Yeah.
Imagine that easy birth where you're gonna tell your birth story and people are gonna be like, what?
Yeah, I can't believe it could be so easy.
Exactly. All right, and then the last one on the ball is a figure 8. So if you can visualize that. So you reach back, out, forward, come through center, reach back, out, forward, come through center. If that's just too much, wiggle it around, find what feels the best to you. And then once you just are in that window where you're waiting on baby to come, if you don't deliver early, if you're at that 40 week mark and you're just kind of patiently waiting, a little bit of a bounce kind of helps to encourage and gives you something to do.
Right.
Lots of walking and a little bit more yoga, do a little bit of swimming, here when it's so hot.
Yeah.
And then just this gentle bounce as you bounce out.
It's nice.
All right, so then we're gonna come off of our ball, stand up, but keep the ball on your mat. Bring it out in front of you. So we're gonna take a tabletop, but bring the ball to your chest and wrap your arms around it. And you can move through a cat-cow here. So there should be enough room for baby out in front of you. Lindsay, see if you bring your arms right around like that, and then you can scoop. So walk your knees back just a little.
Okay.
There it is. Better?
That's
All
nice.
right. So you can rest here. This can be your child's pose. This can be your cat-cow. This can be your tabletop. But this can also be your pigeon. So if we bring our right knee forward to open, and then we have this to keep ourselves lifted. So go ahead and come into a pigeon that feels good. And then notice if this is it, or if you want to get that ball out of the way, and you still have enough space to come down. And sometimes holding on to something, it's kind of like that binky or that teddy bear, that sense of security. So if that works for you, go ahead and take that, or your bolster or a blanket. And then we're going to come up with our next breath and take pigeon on the other side. And however you get there, you can rock to the right hip and then slowly come out, coming through to tabletop, and then the other side. Left knee will come forward, right leg will extend back behind you. Rock your hips around, find that length, and then rest into it. And take about 3 more breaths here. And then we'll start to gently come up. Come out. And take any final pose that you might need, whether you need to just walk your legs out, come to cat-cow, we're going to use our bolster and a blanket for side lying Shavasana. So we use a blanket under our head and then use the bolster between your knees. Lay on your right side and then come down into it. Lindsay, I'm gonna have you roll. Oh, is that your left side? No.
Wait, come on this side?
Yeah. Is that right? Left side, yeah. So lay on your left side. Perfect. Use that bolster between your knees so that top hip is supported. It's not pulling on your low back. Use that blanket as a pillow. Even if you need to place a blanket underneath your belly to kind of pull baby up so baby's not pulling you forward. And then here we are. Find rest, find gentleness, find ease, find that support. Bring to mind one word of positivity, one positive word affirmation. Take a nice deep inhale. Take a hand to your heart, take a hand to baby. And with that word floating around, rest into your Shavasana. Find gentleness and ease.